Well, after taking a day off, back at it today. Had a very, very good day today. Quite happy with it. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I decided it's time to do my recap and walk away for the day. I locked myself out of trading my funded accounts by 11:30 this morning. 3 trades today. Just a really, really good day, well executed. And let's just dive in and we'll talk right through it. So I'll show you the 3 trades, and then I think we're going to go to TradeZella. So the first one was a loss right here on ES on a breakdown of this, and then I was in both ES and NQ. I was long both of these indices and caught a really nice move. You can see the nice move there, and also the nice move here on the NASDAQ, resulting in about $260 some in profit across my funded accounts for a $1,600 day. So very happy with $1,600. Yeah, move the needle. That's the main thing. So let's dive into, let's dive into TradeZella, and that'll show us where we want to go first. So here's today, $1,600, 66% win rate, 2 winners, 3 losers. Average win to loss, absolutely insanely spectacular. This is not, if this is the first time you follow my channel, this is absolutely not customary. Average winner was 135, average loser was only $3. So a big skew, but a very, very good trading day. And the other thing I'm really happy about, we're green on the month, $1,700 on the month. The other thing I really like, and I've really been focusing and playing with my ATM strategy, to get better winning days and to really reduce the losing days and have the red days be quite small. Obviously, the first day of the week or the month, we had a bad day. That was the day I lost about $500 per account. And since that time, I've had a $1,300 winning day, a $2,000 winning day, a $1,600 winning day. And then I have a little 177 and a little $600 loser. So this is the way I want to trade. I want to try to continue on this path. The red days are going to happen. There's going to be days where we lose. Losing's part of the game. A good win rate for me is about 54%. That means that 45% of my trades are going to lose. I'm going to lose almost half the time. But the key is that when I have a winning trade, it's going to be a solid and a good trade. And that's really what helps me to get to these kinds of days. So let's dive into the trades themselves today, and we'll walk you through that. So first one today was that losing trade. And this was a good trade. This is really, there's a lesson in this. Break and retest of yesterday's high of day in the 60-50 level on ES. NQ was rejecting 22,000 and yesterday's high of day. A lot of things looking like we're going to break down, and this was very soon after the open. Push down, hit the first profit target, then push back up, break even loss, good trade. This was a good trade. It was a good shot. It was well worth the risk. And coming out of there with a break-even loss, I was completely fine with it. You can see the setup. We had the high of day. The purple line is yesterday's high of day. We had the 60-50 level, well, 49 or whatever it is, but call it 60-50. I've been watching. Look at the clear rejections right there. Very clear rejections. We were starting to break down below VWAP. Took that short first profit target right here. Second one sitting at 50% of the risk, so I'm risking 150. Obviously, I did move my stop to here, so my actual risk reward was better. But in any case, hit the first one, took me out break even. I want to get down to here. I'm not looking for this trade. Let's just go to ES. Here's that trade. And you can kind of see what this looked like. Here was the breakdown and we started falling apart. I could have closed this trade somewhere here for about $100 profit. But I would have had to kill that immediately. I would have just had to kill the trade, take $100 and walk away. And I am not looking for this trade. I'm not looking for that move. I'm looking for this kind of a move. I was looking for this to happen. I would rather take this de-risks my position. I take one contract off, de-risk, and now I'm out here with $30 loss on the remaining 2 contracts, and we're in good shape. So I would much rather do that. And then this really gave me the direction that we were going to be going, at least in the near future on the markets. When we had a failed breakdown, we pushed back up and we started to hold above this level. That was my cue to then go long. So that's why I said that was a good trade. That was a good loss. Moving to the next trade, and these two were very much simultaneous trades. So this was a long on ES, nice risk to reward, 1.13. Break and retest of yesterday's high of day in the 60-50 level. NQ was still struggling to break 22,000, but the reversal looks clean for upside. The reversal is this loss I just talked about. That reversal failure is what really gave me some extra confidence to get into this trade to the upside. Nice trade, started trailing my stop loss once the market started consolidating. So let's walk through that. Actually, let's look at this one, and then I'm going to show you the last trade, which was also taken at about the same time, right here. This was the best one from an R. No, it was not. Best one from a dollar perspective. The other one was a better R factor. So anyway, let's go to the notes section here. Break and retest of yesterday's high of day and the 22,000. Once 22,000 broken held and ES was still strong, it was time to get in. And notice that I was in the long trade on ES. We were still strong, and this was holding. Look, we had broken back above 22,000, and we started to get some holds there, and that was the cue to get long. And I was comfortable getting long with both markets on all of my accounts. Yes, now the risk, instead of if immediately I'm wrong on both trades, I lose $300 per account, but I was confident with the way that the markets were looking that wouldn't happen. Could it have? Sure, but you got to take your shots and follow the game plan. So nice trade, started trailing my stop once the market started consolidating, same as the last one. So that's how I managed that trade. Now let's go to the trades themselves. So on ES, man, this thing's really breaking down. ES took that long, hit my first profit target, and at that point, I'm not going to lose. And I think, what time was this? This was at 10:20, and I entered NQ at right about that same time. I thought so. So about the time that ES hit my first profit target, right about that time is when I took the NQ long. So I really wasn't going to lose. I mean, I may have had a losing trade of like $3, but I was not going to have a big loss. And so it was very much worth the risk for me to take this shot as well. So once we started to get up to these highs, I actually took my second profit target. I did take it a little bit early. That is usually at 50% of my risk. So in this trade, I had a $50 winner where I took that profit target. On ES, I took that one at $53. And I'm risking 150 on my ATM strategy. So that means that I really want to take that at 75. We never got to $75 in this trade on ES. We consolidated here, and we ultimately broke back down. On the NQ, however, we did get up here to like $100, but I actually I was trailing this stop on this consolidation because I felt like if we're not going to break above and retest these highs, we could come down here and retest this, potentially breaking down below, which we really have done here later day. So again, on ES, same thing. I started trailing once this consolidation happened. I then moved my stop from the break-even point all the way up here, and I just kind of slowly trailed it. And on that big move back down, I got taken out. Now, had I left my break-even stop, I looked at this, I think this would have tick stopped me out. So I would have been out of that trade with an $80-some trade versus a $110 trade, whatever this was. On NQ, it certainly would have stopped me out. And so I would have been out of that trade with $80 instead of the 150 that I had. So well managed. I was glad I did trail it that way. And I think that's something I may start to put into place. Once I hit my second profit target, or once I take my second profit target, no matter how many contracts I'm trading, if I'm trading, 2, 3, 4, or 5, I'm going to start. Depends on the market structure, I think, but generally speaking, I'm going to kind of pay attention to that and maybe just get out, because if it takes me out and it goes back down and rebounds, it's an opportunity for me to get back in the trade instead of holding through all this drawdown. So that just helps the drawdown perspective on each funded account. So anyway, that's the long and the short of the trades. I managed it well, and I decided to just walk away. I wasn't really interested in some of the rest of this. As far as the evals, I did take some eval trades here later in the day, and I want to go back and show you on Monday, I had the red day on my evals. I think I was down like 350. So yesterday, this was yesterday. I took yesterday off. I had some change of plans and couldn't trade yesterday until late in the afternoon. I did take some overnight trades on my eval accounts and after the red day on Monday, and then I was down even further. I ended up negative 350 per account. Oh, I think I've got 16 evals that I'm trading right now, copy trading. And so yesterday afternoon, during the day we had all this chop, and then this is a screenshot from the trades. I took this short yesterday with 10 micros for a $400 winner, and then I took another short here close to, I forget what time of day, this is probably close to end of day, took another short there for about, I think this one may have been like 360 and this one 470 or whatever. It was around 400 bucks average. So yesterday I ended with being up 400 per account, so I was back up from where my loss was on Monday. So that was the mini win, if you will, yesterday. Now today, I had an even better day. I'm up over 600 per account, all of these. And I was copy trading these obviously. And then here in the afternoon session, on NQ, or I should say the afternoon, yeah, it was afternoon session, I shorted, I took a long right here that didn't pan out. That was just with like 3 micros, didn't pan out. And then I was looking for a short, took this short here, that was a few $100. And then I took this short right here off of VWAP for another few $100. And then that put my accounts up plus 600. And I was watching this, and this was kind of what made me my decision to just do my wrap up recap for today and call it a day. It's just not worth risking. I've had such a good day. I've got these accounts up to about 1,700. So I need around 1,300 per account to pass these. And my goal, really, the Tradeify ones are resetting on June 22nd. So I've got the rest of this week and next week to pass these without getting another reset fee, which I don't want to do. On the Apex accounts, I've got until, I think, the 28th, about the end of the month. So I've got plenty of days. But if I take all my accounts with what I need yet, with the exception of this bottom one, I really need about 200 bucks per day until next weekend, and I'll have these passed. So why risk losing when I'm up 600? And I'm just going to keep that in perspective and try to get to 200 to 400 a day on these over the next several days and get these across the finish line. And hopefully we can get up to 20 funded accounts. Well, actually, I'd have 22 funded accounts. I'd have 20 Apex accounts if I can pass all of these. And I would have 2 Tradeify accounts. And then hopefully we can get this one on the funded side to a payout. We are right at the halfway point, 1275 in profit, so almost halfway. The highest I've had this account was like right at 1,500. So I'm close to the highs. I'm at 2194, about 2,200 in drawdown. So I've got to be close to where I was at for the high of that account. So hopefully we can get these pushed up to a payout, get the rest of these revived, and get them back up there, and start taking payouts with 20 funded accounts. That would be absolutely spectacular. So anyway, that's the journey that I'm on. That's where I'm at. Definitely had a good trading day today. And again, this is also worth noting. I have been talking about the market breaking the previous day's highs. The purple lines on my chart, the heavy purple line, this thin line, this is actually not even in the right spot. I really don't want to change it because it'll freeze up my charts, but this should be here, the overnight high, and I need to move that. But pay attention, this is the high from yesterday. We have done every single day, it seems like we break the previous day's high and then we fall back apart. And we did it again today. The news catalyst this morning pushed us out of there. We came right back to yesterday's high, chopped around there in the open, had a little move up, and then we fell apart. And look at this. This looks, where I took profit here, looks to be close to, that looks to be the high of day, I should say, on today's session. I mean, it's 2 o'clock and this thing could rally, who knows? But we have done it on Q, we have done it on ES once again, and it is just something that we have been seeing day after day after day. We push up, and we fall. We're right down here to a very key pivot point here on the NASDAQ futures right now at about the 7 the 860s. If we lose this, whew, we could, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But yes, same thing. You know, breaking the previous day's high, breaking the previous day's high, breaking the previous day's high, but we can't continue to move. So very interesting just to see how this thing goes. And we got two more days of pretty heavy news. I think tomorrow we have, if I can pull it up, tomorrow we have, I'll just put it over here so we can all see it. Core PPI tomorrow. CPI came down a little bit lower than expected. PPI is tomorrow, so we have that at 8:30. So that's another big market mover. You've got PPI and you've got unemployment claims hitting tomorrow, and then on Friday we have consumer sentiment and inflation expectations, red folder event, they're hitting on Friday. So there's a lot of news happening in the next couple of days. I like that because I think it's going to move the market, and I felt like that's the catalyst we need to get this thing going. But again, today, true to form, this market pushed above in the pre-market, pushed above in the New York session, and then we just kind of went sideways from there and fell apart. So this has it's definitely been one of the more difficult time periods in trading. I've been trading for about 2 years, and this is a difficult market to trade in. So it's definitely necessary to keep our eyes open and make sure we have a good, solid game plan, because if not, this thing will punish you, or at least it's punished me. So, but anyway, we're off to a good start here in the month of June, off to a good week here once again, and appreciate you guys for following along. Don't forget about the sales going on. Apex has the 80% off sale, the good 80% off sale with 80% off recurring months, and Take Profit Trader still has that 30% off and no activation fee. I hope they keep that thing, because if I can pass these evals and get all of these funded, I'm probably going to go back to a couple of Take Profit accounts and try to get a couple more of those passed and back to funded with Take Profit Trader. So, but anyway, thanks for using my code. Those of you that do, code BCT gets the best deal on those firms. And once again, thanks for following along. By the way, we are so close to 400 subs. If there's 3 of you out there, I think I'm at 397 at last check. If there's 3 of you that watch these videos and aren't sub, please subscribe. Thank you. It's just a mini little milestone, but if you're willing to give me a couple more subs, I would appreciate that. So, all right, thanks for following along. Appreciate y'all. Have a good trading day tomorrow. Hope you guys have a good day today, or had a good day today, and we will catch up with you on the next one. Take care, and so long.